Though Melissa is just 4 years old, it is impossible for her to imagine doing the simple, everyday things that you and I so often take for granted. Things like playing sports, hanging out with friends, even eating our favorite meal. Melissa was diagnosed with epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, when she was born, and is now forced to live every day in excruciating pain and fear. Fear that her own skin will literally rip from her body and she will bleed to death. The Mayo Clinic describes epidermolysis bullosa as an inherited group of skin conditions whose hallmark symptom is blistering of the skin in response to minor, everyday stresses. I personally became interested in EB when a friend of my mom told me of a little girl in her kindergarten class that she teaches with this condition, Melissa. Although I cannot show you a picture today of Melissa, I can be an advocate for her and so many others like her, such as this little girl behind me. Today I'm here to inform you about this disease, its prevalence, effects on the body, and the medical research being conducted in order to find a cure. Now let's begin by taking a closer look at this disorder. According to the Stanford School of Medicine and Dermatology Center, EB is the result of a mutation of the keratin gene in the skin. This protein binds the dermis to the epidermis and helps to hold the skin together. When this protein is not formed properly for whatever reason, the result is major blistering and peeling of the skin. Therefore, EB is often referred to as butterfly's disease to many because of how fragile and delicate it makes the skin become. As seen on the Jackson Gabriel Silver Foundation website, an organization dedicated to the funding of a cure for EB, there are 3 broad categories of this disease. First is epidermolysis bullosa simplex. This is generally the most common and least severe form. Blistering is seen on the hands and the feet, but scarring is not prevalent. Second, dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa. This is the kind that little Melissa has. In addition to the hands and feet, blisters are often seen on and around the mucous membranes, and scarring is much more prevalent. Lastly, junctional epidermolysis bullosa is by far the most severe form. In addition to the scarring, you also have to deal with internal blistering and bleeding, and disformities of the appendages are very likely. Now that we have a better understanding of EB, you may be asking, how common is it? According to medicaldictionary.com, the prevalence varies from person to person and from population to population. A study was taken by the Centre for Biotechnology in Scotland, and they found the prevalence of EB to be 1 in 20,000. A similar study was taken by the CDC here in America. They found the prevalence to be 1 in 50,000. This variance is due to how little is actually known about this disease. Most doctors will never see a case like this in their entire practice, and it's difficult to pinpoint one symptom that indicates EB. Actually, right now, the Stanford School of Medicine is conducting the first ever DNA testing on EB patients. When this is found out, this will be a huge breakthrough, because now doctors will be able to understand the causes of EB through a simple DNA test, as opposed to the often unreliable test that we have to go off of now. According to a CNN article on epidermolysis bullosa, there is currently no cure for any form. Treatments mainly focuses on the prevention of infections and the healing of blisters. Many, like Melissa, result to wrapping the body in sterile bandages to produce friction and further spreading of blisters. Ointments and lotions must be applied to the skin daily to keep it moist and hopefully prevent tearing. Also, vinegar baths are very common to soak the wounds and heal them from any infections. Anything with a higher level of pH will not only irritate the skin, but also cause the blisters to spread that much worse. In conclusion, epidermolysis bullosa is a rare but serious disease that many people will never even know about. Today, I have focused on the disease, its prevalence, and its alarming effects on the body. I ask you to remember Melissa, and I hope that you will all be able to walk away with a new appreciation. an appreciation to do the simple, everyday things that we take for granted, and that people like Melissa and so many like her desperately wish that they could. Thank you.
All right, so we have Tetris, Quartet, and Tetters. What do all these have in common? Tet. You may have heard of the Tet Offensive in your history class, but what is it? What's the importance of the Tet in it? Well, today I'm going to inform you of what Tet is. I'm going to inform you of what Tet is, how to celebrate it, and why it's important. So Tet is, in high school, we all learned a lot. More from our friends than our teachers because some of us didn't have great teachers, but it happens. And like you all, I learned a lot from my friends. I had a lot of Vietnamese friends, and with that, I was hanging out with them one day and was at their house, and they were celebrating something. And I was like, what are y'all celebrating? They're like, it's Tet. I was like, what's Tet? And they're like, you got to figure it out by yourself. So I went and did some research, and everything that I found is on the internet, but there's always traditions with each family, and you kind of just got to figure that out yourself. You got to experience it. It's just like American traditions. Like my family on Christmas, my sister, since she was 16, gets up every morning at 7, makes monkey bread, and then wakes us all up. Even if it's, and she's 25 and still does this. So everybody has your own traditions, and you can learn about them on the internet, but you have to experience them yourself. So I looked up all the information, and it can all be found on the internet. So first of all, Tet is the Vietnamese New Year. According to cbaq.gov, Tet can start from anywhere on January 22nd to February 20th. It can start anywhere in between, and it's not a normal holiday. Tet is a 2 to a weekday holiday, and who doesn't like week holidays? So it's a big thing, but for Americans, we have Christmas, New Year's, Easter, Thanksgiving, and this is all of that put together for them. This is their big hurrah. It's their holiday. Americanized Vietnamese people still celebrate this, but none of them compare to Tet. That is their holiday. Tet Nguyên Dan, or Tet for short, is what everybody calls it, is the festival of purity and renewal. With this, it's a new beginning for them, and it's their new start. And same as American holidays, they celebrate it a little bit differently between the families. Some of the ways they celebrate it, according to Vietnam Online, is different for every family. But to start, everyone fills the streets in Vietnam. And they all yell, make as much noise as possible, bang pans, just go out and have a lot of fun just to be loud, and it wards off evil spirits and scares the spirits away. So the next thing they do is clean, which that may not sound like fun to most of you, but to them it's a new beginning. So they're getting all the bad luck away, they're cleaning, they polish every utility in their house, no matter what it is. A lot of the times they repaint their house too, to give them a new beginning and a new start. Also, they pay debts. They pay off every debt that they have, and they clear up confrontation with people. So let's say they have the neighbor that they don't like. They go to the neighbor and say, hey, I'm sorry, it's a new beginning, let's start all over. So they completely renew their life pretty much. It's like a baptism, but for their culture. The kids get all new clothes, and they get a little envelope. It's a red envelope of lucky money. The money is supposed to be used for something that they want and that they think they're going to be better at to better themselves. It's just a way to promote the kids to be better. This is an apricot flower. This is the normal flower used in the Vietnamese families' homes, and they put these out because at this time of the year they're blossoming and this is their new renewal. According to Vietnam Online, red and yellow in the Vietnamese culture represent good fortune. So that's why they would put a yellow flower in their house so they can be fortunate. Who doesn't like to be fortunate? So now that you know what it is and how to celebrate it, let's figure out why it's important. So, according to a 2010 census of the U.S. Census Bureau, there is 1,548,449 Vietnamese in this country. With that many Vietnamese, it's bound for you to come across someone, friend someone, or work with someone that is of Vietnamese. And you should be conscious of what they care about and what's important to them. So a big way to this, but this is going to be important to you, is it's going to help you better yourself. It will help you better understand yourself and help you get an open mind. It will better help you understand yourself because if you understand other cultures, it's easier for you to know what you appreciate and know what you want to put your values and what you want to put your time in. It will also help you open your mind. You may not think that, oh, just learning about one holiday is going to help me open my mind. But if you realize that people in this world are different than you, but they celebrate stuff just like you. They celebrate some stuff differently than you, but they still celebrate some stuff that you do. This will help you realize that there is other people like you, whether they are different or not. And opening this can open you to culture, language, and adventures with going to other countries, experiencing their cultures, and just bettering your own. So, in conclusion, I would like to leave you all with a quote by Jackie Chan. "We live now in a global village, and we are in one single family. It is our responsibility to bring friendship and love from all different places around the world and to live better in peace. Live together in peace." I'd just like you to take this with you every day and to live by this. This will help you, if you can live by this and to just bring peace and love to other people, this will help you better your city, yourself, your country, and your world.